was like I had the scarlet letter on my chest.
That was Greg Olma in the early 2000s, never afraid to speak his mind, especially on budget issues.
But I mean, at some point you have to say no.
Greg Olma died a few days ago. He served as Deputy Parks Commissioner at one point.
If we can maintain water quality going into Lake Erie, that's best for all of us.
I think he'll be best remembered as someone who fought for the neighborhood when a lot of people were throwing in the towel.
Those who worked with him and knew him well are sharing memories.
Well, he worked in my office about 40 years ago, but Greg was always a force of nature. He was a powerhouse. You always knew where you stood with him. You always knew his opinion. And some people liked him and some people didn't, but you always got an honest opinion. He was unfiltered.
Former Fillmore District Councilman David Franzik says in 2019 he and Olma were international election inspectors in Ukraine. He was never afraid to challenge the establishment.
He supported India Walton for mayor of the city of Buffalo, and she was an avowed socialist. So Greg's opinions were very, very to the left in the Democratic Party. And so he made powerful enemies.
Over the years, he made headlines for false arrests, but Broadway-Fillmore, that was home.
Greg Olma loved Broadway-Fillmore. He was a bare-knuckle fighter for Broadway-Fillmore in the East Side for 40 years. He's got big shoes to fill. Maybe they'll never be filled.
A founding member of Eugene V. Debs Hall, right near the Central Terminal.
Well, I really credit Greg Olma when he was Erie County Legislator many years ago for securing $1 million to seal the roof up at a time when very few elected officials believed that the Central Terminal had a future.
Greg Olma left a mark.
Our last conversation was via text. And he teased me, and he said that I should run for mayor.
Nowakowski represents the Fillmore District.
Classic example of the older generation fostering the younger generation, not only just in elected office, but around his community. Greg lived on Fillmore Avenue.
Greg Olma leaves behind a wife and 2 children. On Friday, there's going to be at 8:30 p.m. a toast to Greg Olma at the Adam Mickiewicz Library in Dramatic Circle on Fillmore near Broadway.